Hey everyone, Derek here, and this is episode 12. I've just wrapped up phase 2 and now I'm in Wakayama. I'm all over the map in this episode, so I'll try to move quickly through all the events. I'm calling this part of the trip phase 2.5.
Because of course, another hike. There were stairs. They're slippery. So the road was a better choice. Yeah, there's handrails, but I don't know. Maybe going down is better, I don't know. I'm sorry that I'm going handheld here, but with the rain, I need my umbrella.
I took a ferry from Tokushima and Shikoku to Wakayama. The big draw in Wakayama is the Kimiidera Temple, so I decided to check it out despite the wonderful weather conditions.
Goshuin がありますか？
ご支援あります。
はい、大丈夫。はい。300円。はい、ありがとうございました。
I picked up a Goshuin and continued to wander the area. Inside this shrine is a 12-meter tall Buddha statue covered in gold. Built in 2008, it's one of the largest wooden statues, if not the largest wooden statue, in Japan.
Insane.
After the Kimiidera Temple, I headed over to Osaka because I had an early Shinkansen ride from Shin Osaka Station to Tokyo the next morning.
I can take this thing off now. That was a long lineup for the check-in to the hotel. Ended up being 40 minutes. Repping the full blast. Washington Hotel Plaza at Shin Osaka Station. I'm on the 22nd floor, so the view is actually quite nice. I might do a little GoPro footage or something.
As proven in the last episode with the surprise Pokémon Center in Tokushima, unexpected things can lead to awesome moments. My best friend and his wife were visiting Japan as well, and they had landed while I was in Hiroshima. They were currently in Kyoto, which is very close to Osaka where I was, so we decided it would be cool to meet up later that night. And yes, I just compared my friends to a Pokémon Center. The excitement of it, at least. We knew we'd meet up at some point when we were both in Tokyo, but there wasn't a whole lot of crossover during our trips, so this was a nice way to add to the tally. But before that, I had some errands to run, like checking into my hotel, picking up my luggage from a storage facility, and since I needed to catch the train from Osaka Station, I figure I'd check out the Pokémon Center Osaka and Nintendo Store Osaka as they're right at the station. In the Nintendo Store, I was happy to see a whole bunch of Animal Crossing merchandise. I hardly saw any of it throughout Japan, so it was really cool to see it all concentrated here. There's of course Super Mario, Legend of Zelda, Kirby, Pikmin, Splatoon, and all sorts of other Nintendo franchises. In the Osaka episode, I went to the Pokémon Center Osaka DX and mentioned it was one of 2 in Osaka. I didn't end up going to the other one during that time because I figured I'd go this day. Well, the lines were absolutely insane. It was an hour-plus wait to get in as per the person holding the sign, and so I decided to skip it as to not keep my friends waiting.
This is the line to get into the store.
I didn't step foot in it, so it doesn't count towards my counter. So, off to Kyoto I went.
Oh, who are these guys?
So what's going on, bro?
Oh, not much.
Are you filming?
I am filming. I was like, I'm gonna get the first moment that I see John and Nicole in Japan.
How was your travel?
I'm tired.
Oh, boo-hoo. We wandered through Pontocho looking for a place where we could have some food, drinks, and catch up.
An izakaya type thing.
A what?
Izakaya. It's like they serve like random ass like little small dishes.
Oh.
And then like drinks.
I need you around. I need you to interpret.
Can you read it?
Absolutely not. I'm down. They have like fried chicken and pork wieners. I can read that. Yeah, dude. That's all I need to know. This place has fried chicken and probably beer. It's probably packed as fuck.
レッチューのアズサンススイートピックのあげるよ。ワングループウェイティング。
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, yeah, thank you. Do you guys just want to wait?
Yeah, I'm done. I have no fucking clue.
By the way, I'm not trying to sound rude toward the establishment, it's just my own ignorance. We ate every last crumb on those plates.
What are we gonna order?
We're gonna got some decisions here. Got some fried chicken for sure. Yes.
Take photos.
Pictures with that.
Hardly. Cheers, pals. Oh yeah, come by. Let's get that on video. You picked a good one, Nicole.
No, she didn't. So I'm gonna block it.
I saw the bottles on the way. It just keeps getting better.
It does. Look at that chicken. Look at gyoza.
It was awesome for me to see some familiar faces after such a long period of time, and I think it still hadn't sunk in by the end of the night that we were hanging out in Japan together. But yeah, a great night was had by all. I made my way back to Osaka and got ready to head back to Tokyo the next day.
Hello, welcome. I am in Ikebukuro. It is the Tokyo Stay Hotel. I'm very fortunate that they let me check in 3 hours early for about $30. Well worth it. I have a concert to go to in like 2 hours. The highlight of this hotel over any hotel that I'm going to be staying in is there's a washer and dryer. I think it's like a combo unit thing. There are instructions, which is excellent, but holy shit am I so glad to have like my own laundry machine. There's also a microwave and a kettle, which I'm going to use for sure. But there's a microwave, which is awesome.
Once again, no filming for Japanese artists, but I made my way to Yokohama as I'd won the lottery to go see Aime, spelt Aimer, but it's French, so yeah. Anyway, she's done plenty of anime songs, probably most notably the Kimetsu no Yaiba or Demon Slayer Season 2 opening, Zankyo Sanka. It was an awesome night, and she's a fantastic vocalist. This whole week, I was staying in Ikebukuro, one of my favorite places in all of Tokyo. I went on a couple day trips throughout the week, but mostly used this time to recover from a strenuous Phase 2 and to recoup my energy for Phase 3, and do laundry. I want to shout out a couple things that were integral to my survival. The first was Pocari Sweat. I don't think I've really shown it, but I had one of these every single day. Probably more than coffee, to be honest. Because electrolytes. It escalated to the giant 2-liter bottles by this point. This waffle ice cream sandwich thing is the goddamn best. Great dessert, recommend it. Also, look at this Kirby. He's so cross. I didn't win him because I'm trash. But yeah, he's pink and reminds me of this Sakura mochi, which has a cherry blossom leaf. Kind of seasonal, I guess. Also, shout out to this old dude wearing a schoolgirl outfit. I was told by a friend that this guy is actually famous for walking around Ikebukuro just like this. His name is Kobayashi-san. Had I known, I would have asked for a picture instead of trying to be subtle about it.
What's up? I'm at the Niigata Science Museum right now because there's a cool ass event at the museum, which you can see here, sort of. I don't know if I can zoom in, I don't think I can. But it's the Pokémon Fossil Museum. So I'm gonna go check that shit out, because obviously Pokemon.
Alright, my first day trip of the week was to Niigata. I'll give you a break from my voice during the day trip sections and kind of just let you watch everything unfold. This is the Pokémon Fossil Museum, which stays up for a few months before it moves to different cities. It was in Niigata at this time. It's supposed to demonstrate the real-life fossils or animals that the Pokemon's designs are based off of, but also to make it look as if Pokemon are real with their fossils on display. It's so cool how everything is in scale, and it's kind of educational.
These are so cool. So this is like a real relicanth. Covered fossil. For Tortuga. It's Lilith and Cradley. It's a root fossil. Fossil. There's a real life one. This is so sick. Like, this is a real Auroras. Shieldon and Bastion. Armor fossil. Triceratops.
There was also this Grimer trash can, which was hilariously fitting, and a Pokemon Fossil Museum shop with a whole bunch of different goods, and of course the Fossil Museum book. They had a Fossil Museum exclusive Pikachu, so I picked that up as well. I checked out the rest of the exhibits in the museum since I was here. For lunch, I just went with the 7-Eleven chicken and pancake hack. It's always a good time. The next day, I went on another day trip, this time to Ashikaga. The wisteria had just blossomed, so it was the best time to go. Ashikaga Flower Park is huge, and full of many canopies where the wisteria branches just fall over top, creating some seriously majestic scenery. I really don't think pictures and footage do it justice at all. Ashikaga Flower Park is super beautiful, and I would recommend this place if you're in Tokyo in the spring. It's about 2 hours one way. I also had this wisteria ice cream. It tasted like the lavender ice cream in Kobe. Like plants. When I got back to Ikebukuro, I went to Kura Sushi. I went to this chain in Beppu, but didn't take any pictures, so I remembered to do so this time. Between Kura and Sushiro, you really can't go wrong. I started off the next day running some errands, like mailing some stuff back home. I grabbed this kimchi and cheese beef bowl from Matsuya for lunch while I watched the NHL playoffs. I also got this taiyaki. It's a steamed bun shaped like a fish with custard inside. This vlog episode kind of goes full circle as I head to Shibuya Parko to check out the Nintendo Store Tokyo, this time with a special guest.
I think large is still too small.
Have you ever had to input your PIN and the numbers are all fucked up like you ordered?
Yeah, it's obviously like a security thing, so like if someone's looking at you.
Is that what it is?
I'm pretty sure it is.
John and Nicole made it back to Tokyo, and so we made it a point to hang out for a couple days before I headed out to Sendai, and then back home. So we met up in Shibuya, saw a bunch of touristy shops, and basically had a night on the town. I'm leaving in some of the banter/conversations that we had since they're fun. To me, at least.
Oh, I'd like an Animal Crossing like cookie jar or like sugar container. But like, do I really need it? No.
You don't need anything.
Shut up, John. We're in Japan. That's not how things work.
I don't need anything that's here, but you might as well get it.
I want like an Animal Crossing kitchen scale.
Kitchen
Scale.
Is that a thing?
I have no idea. John, I think it's a thing.
Oh my god. Now you got it.
I wished it into existence. Hold on. And the only reason why I say that is because I was trying to weigh my fucking package that I mailed out today. $40 though.
Next to the Tokyo Nintendo Store is the Pokémon Center Shibuya with the awesome and iconic Mewtwo in a tube from the first movie right in front of the store. They also have the Pokémon game sound library, which is amazing and extremely nostalgic.
The aesthetic of this one's pretty cool. Oh yeah, it's the 25th anniversary. I'm gonna pass on that.
The Pokémon Center stores were celebrating their 25th anniversary.
I just want like a 25th anniversary thing. These are the most strange objects to promote 25th anniversaries.
Just a sponge?
Sponges. That's probably like a soap dispenser, and then like hand towels.
Interesting.
I guess you can put on literally everything, like Pokemon on anything, and it'll sell. It's so gross. He's the guy who wrote all the music for Pokemon.
Thank you.
Oh, naruhodo. Ashita.
Yes, small.
Okay.
ポケモンセンター渋谷以外のお店でもキャンペーンが実施しますよ。
Ikebukuro. She said there will be a lot of Pikachu. I don't know if that means like there's gonna be like fucking idiots in costumes, or if that means they're gonna be selling some stuff. Like, I don't know.
The woman cashing me out was telling me about something that was coming up the following day. I was super curious. More on that later.
Oh, she's gonna light it on fire. That's fancy. I don't know what to do with it. I'm not gonna drink it right now, I assume.
Maybe it burns a hole through the line.
John and I met back up with Nicole and went to an awesome Mexican restaurant in Shibuya. They had these shots for Ukraine, which I grabbed one, and these tacos really hit the spot.
I should do one of these those Japan walk
walking
things.
Japan.
So I'm talking too much.
God, I love those.
Those guys don't talk at all. So all you hear is like the ASMR of like
Sounds. I'm gonna be doing so much of that when I get back.
just hearing the beep boop, beep boop.
Yeah. What's that, Nicole?
Oh, yeah, another unicorn.
I was just about to say that. I was like, there's a Uniqlo over there.
Maybe we should go.
I think we went to that one actually.
We've been to all of them. Who are we kidding?
Yeah, I recognize that bar. I mean, if you see one that you want to go into.
Then we made our way to Shinjuku. Our stop for the night was the famous Golden Guy. It's a bunch of bars and narrow streets. This area has been my phone background since my first trip here in 2019. It's wonderfully aesthetic. We walked into a bar that had space for us three. Most of these bars hardly handle more than like 7 or 8 people. But that's part of the fun. There's a cover to get in, but you usually get some snacks for it. Our bartender whipped up this awesome pasta. We met some fellow travelers, a couple of dudes from Australia and a guy from Korea. The Australians had a friend from Japan that was an exchange student, so they were in Japan visiting him. He eventually joined us too, and we all ended up at karaoke together. Shoutouts to Henry, Lewis, and Rocky for the awesome time, and the Korean fellow whose name I immediately forgot after he told me. Sorry.
And here we go, life waiting to begin.
After we sang our hearts out, we explored the insanely busy Kabukicho district.
It's an interesting time to be doing that.
Dude, I love how many of these like guys there are that just like stand.
Holy shit. The busyness is part of the charm though, and I genuinely love all the illuminated signs. Also, there's Godzilla at the top. We called it a night shortly after that, and I rushed to grab the last train, and I made it with a minute to spare. I saw some people stumbling over and stuff, which is to be expected on a Friday night. But it was awesome, well worth it. It was nice to have a bit of a wilder night out. If you haven't noticed, I didn't really drink this much throughout the trip, just a beer with my dinner usually. I also never cared to spend the nights at bars too often because after a day of wandering around the city, I kinda just wanted to relax in my own space. But a trip to Japan wouldn't be complete without a few nights like this. On the last day before Phase 3 starts, I decided to head from the west side of Ikebukuro to the east side. The station is dead center and splits the east and west sides. I wanted to check out the Pokémon Center to find out exactly what that nice lady from the Shibuya Pokémon Center was talking about. Yeah, I was not prepared for this. Apparently the wait was several hours, and it was for the My Pikachu promotion that had dropped this day. There was a whole bunch of different Pikachu plush designs, allowing people to pick one that was fairly unique, and that kind of calls out to them. Or scalpers. I'm willing to bet that a lot of these people were scalpers. Anyway, my assumption was right. The Pikachu plushies were available at all Pokemon Centers, and what she was trying to say was that Ikebukuro had a special event with a dude in a Pikachu suit. I knew I'd be going to the Pokemon Center in Sendai the next day, so I didn't bother. Sadly though, I think this was the last time that I was in Ikebukuro for the rest of my trip. That evening, I headed over to Shinjuku to meet up with John and Nicole one last time. I took them to Sushiro since they hadn't experienced the kaiten sushi or conveyor belt sushi yet. By this point in my trip, I was a pro. We killed some time waiting for our table at the arcade next door where John won a Waluigi in one try, after I'd tried like 10 times and failed. I was too busy gobbling up my food to take pics, but I did sneak a dessert pic. After that, we said our goodbyes, and I actually ended up going to a little concert nearby, featuring Rocky, whom we met the day before in Golden Guy.
Get back to where you once belonged. Get back, Jojo.
He mentioned he was in a band and actually had a show this night, so I thought I'd check it out. The Aussies were there as well. It was a great night. But yeah, that was Phase 2.5. I tried to cram everything into one episode, but these were some of the most memorable moments without a doubt. It was amazing to see John and Nicole. I was excited when they first told me they were planning their trip at the same time that I'd be there, so I'm glad it all worked out. Next up is the last big leg of my trip, Phase 3, where I travel across North Japan from Tokyo all the way to Sapporo and Hokkaido. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. And subscribe and stuff if you want.